Yeah, we've been dealing with multi-week shortages of eggs, flour, and a couple of other things, so we're kind of taking matters into our own hands here. This is probably about the 6th or 7th flock that we've raised over the past 20 years. Anyway, I hope we get some eggs here pretty soon. I'm sure it'll be several months at least. All right, looking across the western U.S., there's that Pacific front still kind of wrapping inland into Utah and Nevada. Looks like a bit of an occlusion up there in Nevada, what's left of that system. And the southern end is what is the most potent right now. We can see that on the thickness and pressure chart. And there it is. That kind of traces maybe some of the character of that front, and you can see the occlusion kind of wrapping in there into Winnemucca and Ely. So that's continuing to work eastward, and then the other part of the front is moving through Texas. Not making much progress yet into the Rockies, so it's kind of hung up against the front range like that, and then the leading edge extending across the Gulf Coast region like that. And then the previous system looks like maybe that's running through the Carolinas, and then here comes a new Canadian cold surge coming south through the central U.S. Looks like some cold weather once again in the Great Lakes region. That frontal system is triggering some thunderstorms, mostly affecting the Houston area all the way up to Lufkin. There it is right there at this time. Got a little multi-cell storm going through the eastern part of Houston. These are moving eastward very quickly. And this cell here, that's going to be kind of cutting into the approach path into Houston Intercontinental there. There's how things look in the southeastern U.S. There's our departing cold front. The main system is well offshore there, and behind it temperatures drop into the 60s and 50s there in the Appalachian region. And the northeast U.S. cold once again. There's a low pressure there around Quebec City extending down into Maine, and not much to say about what's behind it there. Just a lot of cold air, gusty winds, gust up to 30 knots from Michigan out to parts of New York there, and it's being driven by this, in part by this weak 1024 millibar high over the Dakotas, extending up to a ridge in northern Canada up there. In the Pacific Northwest, we get on the west side of that high. That usually means warmer weather. You can see the southerly flow on that side of that high. And it is kind of strange when you get north of this system down here in Nevada. Temperatures are in the 40s. You go north and you get up to 70 there at Boise, 72 at Pendleton, 75 in the valley area of wherever it is, eastern Washington there. It is pretty strange there, so I guess maybe I kind of wonder if maybe that warm front is kind of wrapped all the way around. You know, in fact, I've kind of changed the analysis around, and it kind of looks like this to me. Maybe the warm front is wrapped all the way around, because we can see some very mild weather there in the deserts of Oregon. Even 81 there around Medford. That's some definitely warm weather kind of spreading south into that low, and then you go south of there and we get into some mild weather, so maybe that's what's happening there. Anyway, just some things to look at there, and let's go to the UK also. So there's the UK this evening, definitely under the influence of that anticyclone over the North Sea, bringing that easterly flow into the country there. Pretty mild down to the south, almost 70 degrees, 20 Celsius down there in France and in the southwest part of the UK. And then we're watching that next system about to come in, so we should see things start to deteriorate tomorrow. So it looks like maybe kind of a wet, showery weekend coming up there for the country. So there's the quick analysis for this evening. We've gone over that on the surface maps already, so we're just going to see that cold high sinking southward, bringing yet another blast of cold air once again to the central and eastern U.S. Then let's see, going into tomorrow, under the influence of this giant high pressure area, and that should push the front way down into Mexico, and then in the mountainous areas near Albuquerque up to the Front Range of Colorado. You can see the next front start to edge southward out of Alberta. There it comes. And let's see, the upper level low, producing showery weather across LA and San Diego there. I think we are losing definition with that Pacific front. I'm pretty sure it's in there. We remember that from the analysis yesterday covering this weekend. So let's see what happens. Let's see, going into Saturday, there's our situation there. And I do see that Pacific front. Looks like maybe that's past El Paso there. I think I see the warm front start to lift north maybe. So that's going to be a warm front coming up from South Texas. You can see that overrunning start to get established over East Texas. And then the new Arctic front coming out of Canada there. There it is. That's on its way south, and you can see the strong cyclogenesis there in northern Colorado. And, well, we don't have any NAM charts after Sunday morning, so let's switch over to the European model. Well, here comes that cold front coming south there, passing Dallas on Sunday. This is the map for Sunday here, and that's the leading edge of that polar front, and I think this is the Pacific front kind of working eastward through the Gulf States region. See if we back that up. See how that's crossing Dallas Sunday morning, and then we go back further, and you can kind of trace it back out here. So yeah, that's definitely the Pacific system there. It's kind of actually back there in Arizona for Saturday morning. So there it goes. So it's on its way east. Then we get the cold push coming in for Monday morning, so a kind of a cold start to the work week. Guess a lot of people are probably working from home too. And we're just going to see that front all the way down in the Gulf, down into northwest Mexico, and then the next big change. And one of our viewers did point out that the European model is a little bit less aggressive with these cold outbreaks. And yeah, that's true, but I could still see another one sneaking south later next week. There it goes right there. There's the leading edge of that cold outbreak right there. And out ahead of it looks like a little bit of a lee side trough and heat low out there in the Texas Panhandle. So yeah, that does look a little less aggressive there. European model bringing that front through next weekend. A little bit of baroclinic development there in Virginia. And let's see, what do we have after that? Pretty quiet. And that brings us out to 240 hours, and then we're done. Let's contrast that with the GFS. Okay, so here's the GFS model next week. Lots of high pressure, pretty quiet for the start of the week. And then we see that next Canadian system coming down right there. Kind of an Alberta clipper coming through Thursday. And you can see it right there. Going into the Ohio River Valley for Friday. And yeah, the nose of that polar air works down into Oklahoma. So it's similar to the European model. But yeah, you can see up there for Sunday and Monday. That's probably a little bit out of the range of that European model, but you can see a pretty good push of polar air coming down for the 20th and 21st. So we shall see. There's that next system there. So probably a shot of severe weather then around the 20th, 21st. And I don't know, it looks stormy. So we'll see. All right, anyway, I got to get this wrapped up, or we're never going to get done. Every minute we add to the production exponentially increases the editing and upload times, and it's already 6:35 p.m. here. So let's get this wrapped up. That's about all I got for this evening. Thank you for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.